Hey there, design students. Welcome to week 12, where you are going to do a couple of assignments and then, of course, complete your film noir poster. In fact, you have 4 assignments due this week. The first one is the overview assignment. The second one is another before and after assignment. The third one is another critique of other students' comps. And then, of course, the last one for this week is you submitting your final poster. I want to remind you that when you submit a project like the Black Keys flyer or this film noir poster or the next assignment project, once you submit your final work, I'm going to critique it and grade it. And then based upon that critique and grade, if you want to make changes and resubmit, I will give you some additional points if you've made good changes according to the critique. So keep that in mind. That's sort of a way of getting extra credit. I also want to let you know for this week that you need to post your comps right away. You did your comps last week, so they should already be done. What I need you to do is Monday, by the end of day Monday, post those comps so that students can start looking at them and critiquing them. And you might want to just start as well. And you want to start as early as possible doing the critique, even though it's not due till later in the week. The earlier you get those critiques in, the better it is for the entire class, because that way all the students can see the critiques and use those critiques to help produce their final work. If you are waiting, or if the whole class waits till the last day, then it's really hard for everybody to get critiqued. There are some students who end up not getting critiqued. Which reminds me, when you critique, please look over the submissions and critique the work that has no critiques yet. In other words, if it's empty, if there's no replies to a particular student's post, then please critique that assignment, not some other assignment where somebody's already done a critique. Okay, so this week you're going to be graded on producing the final project, the final poster, and realize the grading is going to be the same as it always has been. You got to do really good Photoshop work. Don't do simple stuff and don't do rough edges. Make sure your selections are really good. Make sure you use the Select and Mask workspace. Make sure that you show me your working files with great selections and good masks in the artworking folder. Make sure that you keep with the style of film noir. Make sure you have all of the information. Make sure you use good design principles and elements, and double check your work. What I recommend you do is, before you turn in your final assignment, your final project, you go back to the lesson that lists everything about it, all the requirements, and you go through it step by step and make sure you've covered everything. Some of you are submitting files that are the wrong resolution. Some of you have been submitting projects where not all of the information is there. All of this stuff is really important for you as a designer to make sure that you get into your project. Now, when you're working on your final project, realize that design can change. There is no problem with you making modifications, changing things up from your rough based upon what maybe other students have said, or just your own eye. Whatever you want to do, you can make some changes, but don't change the overall concept. You want to keep with whatever rough design, the basics of that design, you want to keep with it throughout the remainder of this assignment. So don't submit something that is completely different than one of your roughs, okay? Just don't do that. And sometimes when you're doing this stuff, when you're doing the design work, you do get stuck. When you get stuck, don't just try to force things. There's a couple of things that you can do to help with that. You can get up and walk around and relax and go watch TV, go play a game, go do something. But then come back and don't just sit there and look at it again. review those principles and elements of design and ask yourself questions about them with regard to your work. How is my hierarchy? How is my emphasis? What's the style like? Is there variety? Is there unity? Ask yourself all of these questions, and when you have some negative answers to that, that's going to help direct what you need to do to improve the design and get you unstuck. And another way to get unstuck, especially with typography, is to look at lots and lots of inspiration, lots of other people's designs to see what they did in certain circumstances. So don't forget that typography is a really important part of this assignment, and keep referring back to the inspiration in order to drive some of the design choices that you make. That's it. That's all I have for you this week. Please let me know if you have any problems or any concerns, and I will see you soon.